What's going on, everybody? Landon here with Home Service Business Coach Podcast. And Dave,
good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, man. We've got an exciting topic here for you. Collecting payments, credit cards, processing fees. We're here to talk about it all because it was something that has come up more and more and more. And I think Jobber actually brought it to our attention. And this is why today's episode is sponsored by Jobber. Just wanting to hear our thoughts and talk about it. But before we dive in, because Dave, I know that you're passionate about this topic, wanted to give you our other show sponsor, and that's Good Guys Pressure Washing. Home Service Business Coach is the most in-depth program on the market. It covers everything you need to grow your business. The atmosphere and the coaches are incredible to work with. If I were you, I definitely would give it a try if you want more for yourself, your family, and your staff. Good Guys Pressure Washing left us that review, and thank you for that. That is who is sponsoring today's episode. But Dave,
yeah,
let's kick us off. And I think it's important when we're talking about credit cards, I always like to go right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So I want to just give a 30-second history on why the heck credit cards were invented. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get going. So 1950s businessman at a diner forgets his wallet. This is the early 50s. It's cash. No cards existed. And he's like, what if there was something that I could put money on and they could take it and then I could pay it back?
Wow. And
that's how the credit card was born. And why was the credit card born? Out of convenience. Why do people use credit cards today? Convenience. And that's what I want to think.
Man, I didn't know that. I can always counter you for the history back end. That's great.
Yeah. It was cool, right? I think it was 1954. I should have wrote the gentleman's name down. Again, you can find it very easily, but credit cards were made for convenience, right? Dave, I want, and you know, everybody listening too, name a company doing over $1 million that doesn't accept credit cards.
We'll wait.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Have you?
No, man, I've not. But it's funny you say, like, let's dive in. You say convenience. If you think about who your ideal avatar is, if I own a window cleaning business or a painting business, whatever the service is, and they're paying me to go out, or my team to go out and do the thing, clean the windows, they're paying to get their time back. They're paying for convenience. So I think it's pretty messed up in 2025, 2026, whenever you're watching this, if you're going to go contract your services and then when it's time to pay, brick wall, like friction, actually, can you go run to the bank and get some cash? It just seems so archaic.
You'll lose clients over that too, because we live in a cashless society, a Netflix economy. You've heard us say it before. Everything is online. Like I hear China, you know, love them or hate them, they're so advanced in their technology that they're almost a precursor for what's going to happen in the US. You know, they're just 20 years ahead of us with all the apps. There's nothing cash. It is all through apps that you pay. Yes, we can get into the government policy behind that, but what I'm saying is that's the way the world's moving. Dave, I guess in your eyes, like just kind of rip on this, on your thoughts on the credit card fees, maybe some pros about accepting credit cards, but most importantly, people listening to this, why are they not accepting credit cards? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, let's start. Why wouldn't you? I mean, let's set context here. I've been in home services now for 16 years. We did not actually plug in credit cards for real until midway through 2019. So I had actually a lot of my entrepreneurial journey. I was the guy like, can you send an e-transfer in Canada? There's a thing. I would have the auto deposit so you don't need a password. Wow. Then I rolled a few years just getting checks made. And that worked good. You know, we would accept cash from time to time, but it's just like it's a pain by the time you go take it to the bank, put it in your business bank account. So we plugged it in midway through 2019. But why I was resistant, Landon, was my background was actually from a painting business, right? Where the average job size for us was about $5,000. So if you go 5,000 at 3% of that does start to, that's $150. That right there, I'm like, it starts to add up. So I actually resisted the whole credit card movement for a good few years because it also made it, there wasn't an easy way to process at that time. And I used a few different payment processors and you'd need a separate app. And then my text would go and try to log in and the password would be wrong. It was friction for us. So I said, forget it, don't do it. But then as Revive started growing, It was the 1 year in 2019, we did like almost 1,000 jobs, and I'm just like, we're losing checks. This is crazy. Our accounts receivable is getting out of control. And so let's actually put this under the microscope. Maybe it is worth it to actually take a hit on it. It's a 2.7% transaction fee, and then I believe 30 cents per transaction. So you add it up, let's just call it 3% for fun.
Yep.
Maybe it does make sense here in an effort to, I like to say the quote, like, not trip over pennies to generate dollars. So I think the biggest con why most home service business owners would say no would literally be just it's seen as an unnecessary cost to my business, and that's originally how I saw it.
Which is so interesting, and I didn't even know that. So look, we're learning some new stuff already today with everybody watching as well too. Which it just goes to show that 3% is not a small margin, but also too, it's that what Hormozi talks about. We're gonna bring him up again. It's like you're so focused on how you can save this money. His advice would be just go make more money.
Yeah,
totally. Make it irrelevant.
Yeah, it's literally the same mindset as you're going to cut out your Starbucks every day. That's $3 and you're going to save your way to be a millionaire or multimillionaire. It's just saving it's a whole different skill, saving money. But when we're talking about little bits here and there, and I'm not saying be financially irresponsible. I actually think I'm way more on the conservative side of spending, man. We don't spend more than 7% in marketing. That's fairly conservative in today's day and age. I don't believe in, financing yourself up to your eyeballs. I like to pay cash for vehicles. I always love to try get a bargain.
It's the Dutch in you, buddy.
It's the Dutch in me, man. And so it's like, I'm not coming at this as this spendthrift, like, let's just go everywhere, do it. It's like, I put every dollar under the microscope, but this is one I've chosen to commit to in an effort out of convenience. And as my life has grown too, I'm now married, I'm a dad. I pay for everything in my life, what I can with credit card. It's easy. We stack up credit card points here in Canada that can be used for hotels or travel, airfare, whatever. So there, I do see things from a consumer as well. But this is the point I want to land on, man. We could talk about this. I think why business owners resist charging it, using it in their organization, is because most home service business owners listening to this, and I mean this with all the respect in the world, they're probably not their own ideal avatar. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're generally not going to be hiring a window cleaning company for $700 to clean their personal windows. That's a lot of money. I'm not going to do that. And so I'm not going to charge credit cards. So I think that's where the biggest divide is here.
I just want to leave a mic drop, because that is the thing, is that you want to sell to the more affluent homeowner. And I'm not saying that you're more affluent, but right to Dave's point, instead of paying $7,700 to do XYZ, you started the thing, which most people aren't going to. That's a huge, kind of pat on the back. Let's go. But on the same token, you started the thing, meaning you're not going to most likely pay for the service that you're inquiring about, right? Which I think is so brilliant. And that's where I didn't want to say anything. I don't really think that anything needs to be said. Just let that simple fact sink in.
Let's make it more succinct. The brutal, honest facts. Your business exists to service the rich, and right now you're probably not the rich. Just generally, there's probably one dude or one girl on here that's like, my business takes home $500,000 a year, and I'm not talking to you. You're probably not watching this. You probably take home anywhere from 40 to 150, 200 grand from your business by the time we pay everything. That's the person I'm talking to.
Yep.
And if you do a home service business right, I think you absolutely, that's the biggest pat on the back. You become your ideal customer in time. And that's then you're like, credit card's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, maybe that there's the whole attitude about dependency on technology as well too, right? It's like, if this is the only way that I accept payment, what if it fails? What if it goes down? What if there's, a hack at, Visa or MasterCard or whatever company? And then, they're going to steal my information. Like, there is, genuine security issues and concerns, which I've heard about as well too. But at the end of the day, when you say stuff like that, you are like, my $150,000 business is worth almost not necessarily more, but it's more capable than a $100 billion tech company who's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Like they have, 100,000 employees. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like you're pitting yourself, and it's again what we want to touch on, which is like, firstly, the mindset for your customer as well as your employees. I think that would be the biggest thing. So, Dave, I think let's segue on to that point of what are some pros. We've listed the cons, independence or dependence on technology. The 3% fees, obviously that's the huge one. I'm losing revenue, so on and so forth. What are some actual pros?
Yeah, you got to look at everything in life. I think nothing in life is free, and we need to be extremely objective. I think we hammered on the negatives for sure, but I think it's important to frame it in a positive light as well. And then we can make a decision. And we're not making this to say you have to do it this way. We're just saying generally what we see at Home Service Business Coach, what I've done with my business as an industry best practice. More companies are doing this than not. And these are the reasons. So as a business owner, though, there's a lot of pros. Number one, Landon, why 80% of trades businesses don't make it to month 60 to year 5 is because of cash flow issues.
Yep.
So I believe you can run a positive cash flow cycle if you're accepting credit cards. And oh, Dave, what does that actually mean? Let's get granular here. So in my company, the last 3 years, if our crew is going to turn up on the job site, we've already received a 50% deposit. It's insane now. When we did this, it was 2021. People were like, you're running a cleaning business, you're charging 50%. No one's
Dude,
gonna do that.
I was there. Like, I was literally selling when like we were doing this. And again, I think, again, this is maybe a hiring thing and we're not going to steer on that. Try and find somebody outside industry, bring them in, just like Dave did. Because you don't know this stuff, right? Like, I was like, yeah, why the hell? Like, I was accepting deposits in all these under industries. So when they told me, I was like, okay.
I forgot. Yeah, Landon was literally our sales rep in 2021.
With the deposits and the amount of pushback I received was literally probably, I'm going to have to give an example out of 20.
Yeah.
19 people. Perfect.
How did you frame that, though, that you didn't make it weird? Is it just in a confident state, or how did you actually convey that this is just how we do things at Revive?
Yeah, it's just a conversation. Like, again, I didn't have that, oh, what if they say no? That like thought never crossed my mind because I was so used to collecting it. So it's just, maybe I don't want to get into like sales training here, but it's just a part of the conversation. Is like, brilliant. So I'll get Katrina to give you a call. This is kind of how the process we work here at Revive. We're gonna go 50% up front. This is how you do that. Brilliant. And then Katrina will give you a call, our office manager at the time, schedule you in, and then our crew will be here for you. Like, it was just, I didn't make it a big deal because it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. Like, these people are going to pay the money either way. If they actually want the service, well, they say they want the service, then okay, then let's go 50%. Like,
yeah, it shows you're serious, man. And you still got the lingo down 3 years later. That's awesome. But it's like, what it's helped me from a business owner perspective is another pro, you don't dispatch your crew. And on the way, you guys all have this, you girls all have this, customer emails in, we actually don't want the service. The crew's like showing up to site, WTF, right? So the deposit, it's non-refundable. Now we have refunded under extenuating circumstances. An extenuating circumstance, FYI, is not they went and got someone cheaper who knocked at their door and bailed on you. So it shows good faith in the business arrangement. And if you're brand new in business, this is a harder bat to swing, I think, because you just want customers. And if the customer's like, do you mind starting my service at 8 p.m. on a Saturday? You'd probably say, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. But as you get more clients, you build more respect for yourself. You're like, no, clients are fitting into my processes that I'm looking to scale up. So that's a huge one, man, is making it beneficial from a cash flow perspective.
Yeah, cash flow perspective. And also, you mentioned it, is just like, and we mentioned it before, is the convenience to the consumer.
Yep.
Right? Like that is number one. If you could take nothing from this, why you should be using credit cards and have a credit card processor and quote unquote eat the 3% fee, it would be convenience for your customers. Like, period, end of story. It's going to be more convenient for your team. But at the end of the day, you're a customer service business that happens to do X.
Nice.
That's the mindset.
We're a customer service business that happens to cut lawns, clean windows, whatever the thing is. I love how you put that. Said that before.
Yeah, I think I've heard it from somebody here too. record keeping as well too, because like this kind of comes on like my front end, talking with you guys and gals, for the past 3.5 years, if you will now. Record keeping, most of you, 90, I would
Pretty bad.
97. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
And when you are collecting cash and all this type of stuff, at the end of the day, you got to pay tax.
Yeah.
Like, let's not forget CRA up in Canada,
Yeah.
IRS down in the States.
Yeah.
They want their money.
Yeah.
And if you are, well, I'll take cash. So then it's kind of, not put on the books. It's like, okay, so you save yourself on the tax front. And then when you want to go buy a vehicle or maybe a personal house per se, right? Because now you're
Then you're
with
free.
a company.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made $30,000. In reality, you made $100,000. You skipped out on, you never save trying to avoid tax.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here. You never kind of save trying to avoid a 3% fee. It's always going to come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I always pivot a lot of my business advice to filling in the answer. What are you actually building here? And if you're truly, Landon, building a decade plus long business, like you just need to stop Mickey Mousing around with cash and, you save this in tax. It takes a huge department of your mental bandwidth to be dealing with that. Yeah. And just my business coach back in the day would just always tell me, do the next right thing. And if you're taking cash and I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to say, if you want a best practice to run your business, you'll stop doing that and just have one central system. It's almost as if you're using Jabber right now and you're also playing around on the side with another CRM that is just why would you have two things? So I think there's beauty in simplicity. Just keep things super simple. The last benefit I'll say, I want to hit this one.
Yeah, please. No, I was just saying, it's just not to hit on anybody, but Dave and I are in committed relationships. You're a bit beyond that. It's one is enough.
Yeah,
the simplicity. You don't need to add one partner, one CRM,
100%,
one business at a time.
Yes,
exactly.
We were saying the quote this week: "Simple scales, fancy fails." I love
Keep
that.
it simple, stupid. There's so many of these sayings for that exact reason.
So the other benefit though with the credit cards, and again, it's not like we didn't get any of this benefit before, but I just showed you on our Jobber line, and we're north of $20,000 now in tips collected for my technicians. And Revive believes in that so much. We actually pay the credit card fee. My company pays it so that each technician can keep 100% of the tips that come in.
So I think how the math broke down on that.
Yep.
1/3 of your fee was paid back in tips.
It's a good way to look at it.
In all honesty.
Good way to look at it.
Right. So it's now you're paying 2%. You have amazingly happy crews. You have amazingly happy clients. Your records are being kept. Everybody knows what's going on. Cash flow wise, CRA makes it easy to pay your taxes, or again, IRS in the States.
Yeah.
Multiple win. Now you have more peace. How much is your peace worth? Is it worth cash, or is it worth, I'm going to take this, not trip over pennies on my way to dollars?
Yeah. It's a whole box, everyone. I'll wrap this up here. It's a whole box, I believe, that you open, that you find an enterprising entrepreneur in, that just things are a no-brainer. And I'll just rattle off a few right now. In my mind, to build a successful company, branding yourself well, no-brainer. Paying above industry average for great people, no-brainer. Charging more than the other shops in town, no-brainer. Accepting credit cards, no-brainer. My business, we charge out a fuel surcharge to our customer, no-brainer. We want to stack the deck with the best experience for our customers, that the credit card fees, it's just in that box. Now compare the other side. We've got Bucket Bob, let's say. There's no one good that wants to work. Or do we say it, Bucket Bob, respectfully, there's no one that wants to work, ... for you, right?
Yeah.
There's that. Bucket Bob is charging too cheap. Why would I pay 3%? Doesn't make sense. Why would I even join Jobber? I've got a great system right now using my Google Calendar. Well, no. Bucket Bob, the future does not look bright for him in the next 10 years. I'll say that. So it's just very clear in talking with hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years, there's very two distinct boxes you're in. And you even know, you've been on over 1,500 assessment calls. Within, you can tell me how many minutes you're I know you're box A or box B.
It's within 3 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The remaining 17 to 35, however long we go, is a nicety.
Yeah.
I know off the almost instantaneously if we can help you or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy to say.
But it
'Cause
it goes to mindset though, man. Like, what are you building? And when you know what you're building, when you begin with the end in mind, you work backwards with the right steps to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, again, a first question I always ask is like, what are we building long term? To answer that reason, like if you want to build, make your 6 figures a year, just ripping it as you want, brilliant. There's so many things that happens. What happens when that back finally breaks or the knees kind of cave in that you're feeling right now? What happens? You can't take a vacation. You're absolutely married to your business.
Yeah.
It's not working for you. You have nobody you can lean on. And here's the thing, nobody's going to buy you. You can't sell. Nobody's going to pay $100,000 for contacts of people. They'll just go out and get them themselves.
You'll get 10 grand for your phone number and your hack show of a client list. So it's like
no reviews. That's also like no reviews. No, if you're not collecting credit card fees, there's commonalities. Your reviews are low. Your website's low. Your social presence is low. You're not consistently marketing. Nobody wants to work. People aren't going to pay that price. You're projecting your mindset on your ideal client. There's no way somebody would pay that. It's like, I just want you to think this through. The richest company on planet Earth, and the richest man, I should say, Arnold, and the French guy, he owns brands like Louis Vuitton, all this stuff. They sell 6 to 10 to 20 to 40 to $50,000 purses and handbags and luxury things.
Yeah.
How is he the richest man in the world if he sells some of the most expensive things on planet Earth? Because rich people pay.
And they take credit card. I wouldn't know. I have no followed.
Okay, you got me there. That was amazing. That was well done.
So if you want to take the next step in scaling your business to the next level, you're going to want to check out our Scaling Blueprint program. We've worked with hundreds of home service business owners now all around the world, where we've actually built out the systems for them in their customized branding and provided them with coaching from our 7-figure coaching team. If you want to learn more about that opportunity, then go ahead and click the link right here. Now let's get back to the episode. But let's kind of wrap with, I just want to share, like, transparently, Landon, I think we should probably get practical. I think we've made a case for justifying the fees, but I think like we should just get practical with, like, here's maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 things that the listener, if they're like, all right, like, I want to make that step to take them, what should I actually, like, practically do?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think first and foremost, take it back, start with the end in mind. Like you said, what business do you want to build? Secondarily, what platform can I integrate as seamlessly as I can with my payment processor, with my CRM? So an example, instead of running, Quote IQ and Square, I think that's a common one some of the guys use. It's just like, what platform can provide me with, 2 different sources of just putting everything together. Jobber does that very, very well.
Yeah, and I can speak to that, man. Like, we plugged on Jobber Payments years back, man. It is literally the stats I was showing you.
Yeah.
So, like, time to date that we've been doing that, our credit card fees I just showed you is about $67,000 in change. So it's like, why would you ever pay that? But those are, in my mind, that's the pennies. Let's talk about the dollars. We've done over $2.4 million to do that. Process, deposits paid, positive cash flow, $20,000 in tips. And man, like, I think it's hard on a podcast too. It was like over 4,000 jobs with that. Like, how can
it's hard
you
to quantify?
It is, man, because you get checks coming in, someone's got to deposit them all. What happens when sums get lost? If it's cash, someone's going to the bank.
Yep.
What's the cost of your accounts receivable building? I'm going to have someone in my office dialing for dollars, calling Bill to try get money. So it's just like, you have to look at things not out of context. And I think, like, me looking 67 grand, that's a big fee, but it's also seeing the overall picture and the dollars generated. And for me, in my company, we can count on about a 25% profit margin after paying everything. So, 25% of 2.4 million is a whole lot better. And that even justifies already that credit card fee. So it's just like, I don't want to be a business coach that read it in a book to tell you. I'm like literally doing that with my company, and we're consulting. How many are in our program now?
137.
137 members all around North America, some in Australia. Amazing. that were
Some in the UK even.
some in the UK that were consulting. And it's just like, this is best practice, what industry leaders are doing.
Yeah. And even tried to look it up. Like, here's kind of your options. So if you're just getting started or like, first year in business, again, we would always recommend get everything established, build that firm foundation. It starts with CRM, collecting, credit cards and stuff, different stuff like that. But you kind of go from, there's 3 stages I look at that. You don't use it till you use it, till you build it you build it out your own. Because I tried to look up Amazon. Of course, they've already built out their own completely separate portal. They do not pay quote unquote, any other service provider.
Sure.
They built it.
Yeah.
So those are your 3 stages. You're either, just starting out, don't do it. Now you're building a legit company. You got to accept them. Or you get to that point of you're too big. You create your own internal thing in-house.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say, man, like, I think we can't make this episode without hitting on the raising prices discussion.
Oh man.
So
do we want to go?
I think we got to hit on that because, one, I think it's an easy thing to say if, say, a jobber sales rep is on a discovery call with someone considering jobber, just raise your prices, Bill. But it's like, there's a whole lot of head trash that goes into that. And the other thing too, man, is like, to justify a 3% credit card fee, just raising your prices 3% doesn't actually amalgamate that, because you still got to pay your overhead, your labor, your materials. So in my mind, it's actually more like a 5 to 10% price increase. And then we also add in, a little thing called inflation that's happening every year. So like, I think a best practice for a business owner would be going into a new year, looking at their numbers and like, straight up, if you're not making the money you desire to make and you believe you love your family and work so hard, look at this new year. What would a 10% price uptick do? And I'll just share, I was on a consulting call with one of my private clients yesterday, and he was telling me they just looked at raising up their prices, and we were going through their numbers and seeing the benefit that happened from a price raise. And we're looking at his numbers and it's so clear, but you don't know that until you hike it up. And the other thing he told me was, he's in roof cleaning, and he would, bid out usually a roof clean, and it'd be $2,000, and he would sit in his truck and he'd bring it down to $1,450 because $2,000 is too much. He hired a sales rep this year. The sales rep went in when my client was on vacation. He said, okay, the numbers is $2,000. It's $2,000. And the customer signs it, pays deposit, and my guy's away. He's like, mindset mic drop. He's out. I gotta tell Dave that, because it's like, I've seen that in my own business too. Business owners, we play this like Russian roulette in our head of what the price should be. Bringing in a sales rep, even like you, fresh eyes, are just like, hey, it's $2,000. It's $2,000. Go tell us how
System told me to do.
So it's all that head trash of moving from $2,000 down to $1,450. That screws us up. And the same thing, if you're listening, like, raise my prices, I could never do 10%. Like, that's the head trash right there.
Absolutely. And in Canada, I saw an article, our groceries are going up 3 to 5% next year.
Saw that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how do they know that already? That's where my mind goes. No, but seriously, like, inflation, things are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're not being greedy. I also want to say that too about raising prices. Like, you're not being greedy. It's not like this selfish thing. It's that at the end of the day, you want to provide the absolute top tier service.
Yeah.
You care about a meticulous job done at the customer's home. You also need to care about a meticulous job of running the business with your customer service, right? And I'm sorry, it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you want to continue serving those clients, you have to run a profitable business that that others can also benefit from working with.
Yeah.
Makes the greater community at large better. And people will pay, those who pay attention, those who pay in the service industry, they want the best of the best.
Yeah. I remember, man, back in 2019, I just love sharing stories and examples because I just think it drives it home.
Yep.
I was literally at Starbucks, and a friend of mine put me in touch with this coach at the time who'd scaled up a pretty sizable exterior cleaning business. And keep in mind, I'd just done $155,000 in my business, is like just transitioning from owner operator.
Yep.
And he was like, okay, well, I had my business in a similar territory before I sold it, and I was going through my numbers saying, we're $65 an hour for a charge rate. And he almost like respectfully like laughed at me on the phone. He's like, if you're not hitting 125 an hour, like, you can't run a profitable business. And we went down all my stuff, and it was like this light bulb moment of like, if I met this guy like 2 years ago when I launched, and I don't have any regrets, but that was such a catalyst for me saying, I need to charge more. So even, man, some of the favorite people that you onboard in our program,
Yeah.
they're 10 miles up the street from my office. And I'm like, we're coaching competitors,
Yeah.
but one of the fundamental things we do at HSBC, we get our guys making money and they raise their prices.
All the
What do you think that does to my business? A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
And so it is such a psychological warfare when it comes to pricing that I just didn't want this episode to go by without just hammering it, that a famous quote in the space: charge more money, do less jobs, make more money.
Yeah. And profits at that.
Yeah, honestly, like
Right.
there's 3 reasons you start a business, and I won't go too tangenty.
No, please.
Promise.
Please.
Make money,
Yep.
generate time / freedom. 3, plant your flag in the ground / impact. So
Yep.
most of those 3 owners are not even hitting, man. Making 40 grand a year from your business, we're not making the money. You should just be a technician in your own business,
No.
respectfully. 2, time freedom. Are you free Friday morning to take your kids to school? Are you free on a Tuesday night? And I'm not saying things don't come up, because I've been doing this 16 years. There's been evenings for sure at I'm missing our time in the hot tub, right? It just, stuff comes up. But generally, I would say you should have a good amount of time freedom. And then 3, impact. That can be different for everyone. It can be providing for your family. It can be, we've got members doing stuff, local charity stuff, global stuff, whatever your impact is, you want to plant your flag, that's available as well. But if we don't hit those first 2, man, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then we've got an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we want the absolute best, but I was talking with a gentleman who came on board yesterday. And as we're sitting there talking, it was like a long phone call. And like,
Yeah, you were late for our meeting.
Yeah, I was late for the meeting. Like I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's just we're talking through, and I'm like, this guy's gonna kill it.
Nice.
He knows what he needs to do, but at the end of the day, this is the kicker. He told me this like within the first 5 minutes. Again, 5 minutes coming down to that already. He's like, I know I'm in my own way. I know what I need to do, but I've not done it. And I was like, that's who he helps.
That's great.
Right.
And you even slacked the team, and maybe this is an overshare, but Landon will grade our members in onboarding on how well their mindset is for us. I think you did like 9.8 for this guy. So like,
yeah,
I don't even think I'm 9.8. I'm like, this guy's gonna kill it. And honestly, it's the greatest compliment for me when, like, our head coach Jackson, for example, he's now built a larger business and he's functioning and has freedom. I'm like, when the student becomes the teacher, I'm just like, oh man, that's my impact, man. Like that's the flex for me, is seeing our members win. Cause I'll continue to say this till I die, man. You change your small business, you change your life. And whether that's positive change, negative change, is just amazing. And so I know we're jumping around, but the credit card fees are just so central, I think, and something that
to the larger picture.
Yeah, it is, man. And something, whether it's this year, next year, I think listen to what your customers want and use this as a competitive advantage. But quite honestly, if enough people hear this talk, it's just going to become the normal way of doing business. Do you show up on time, and do you take credit cards? Do you brush your teeth in the morning? It's like, if we're not going 3 for 3, there's going to be an issue.
Real big issue. Absolutely. Everybody that's wondering, how to get linked up with Jobber, we'll leave a link. HSBC is obviously partner with Jobber. We'll leave a link down there. Phenomenal team, great support. Premium service for a reason. We talked about, raising your prices. Jobber is a premium service, just like Home Service Business Coaches too. We are not the cheapest out there.
Talk about that for a sec, man, because I think you helped produce this podcast. You put a ton of work to prep this, so I appreciate all the work you do. But I don't think you share enough about our Scaling Blueprint programs. Actually, you're always asking me the questions. I just want to hit pause for a minute and say, what do we do in Scaling Blueprint? 1 minute and 1 minute. What does someone listening, they listened in 40 minutes to this, maybe they're interested. What do they get?
Yeah, great question. So kind of think about it this way. You have your systems or playbooks, and then you have the actual coaching / guidance / roadmap / accountability, if you will, right? So again, the first thing we do is, if you want to get a hold of us, you're going to be speaking with me on the phone. Just we'll have a link again listed down below here. We got to figure out if we like each other and if we can help you out. Then what's included in Scaling Blueprint is really everything you're going to need to grow your business.
Yeah.
You're going to have weekly coaching calls. You're going to be plugged in to that community of over 130 plus members to where, you know, you feel alone, like you can't talk to somebody. You have that. We got Slack, we got School for Support, we got world-class video training, we got the playbooks. We're super excited. So
Yeah.
think about that, a business in a box. Coaching programs historically, just like, you know, CRMs historically, track your client database. Jobbers like, no, you're going to be able to send emails. Now you're going to be able to collect payments.
You got to evolve.
You got to evolve. And that's what we've done here at Home Service Business Coach. So we're not just giving you information, but it's like, hey, we're actually going to build your playbooks, your marketing playbook, sales playbook, hiring playbook, all these different playbooks for you. Give us a month. We need your brand logo and brand colors.
Nice.
We're going to do that. Give us a month. And then on the other side, okay, you're stuck or just want to reach your goals at a faster rate. Well, that's what we've done here.
Yeah, we tried to make it everyone, you either buy a franchise for, you know, 40, 50K plus royalties and you sign that 10-year agreement, or you just work with us. And like our best clients,
Your business.
we build it for you. Yeah, our best clients will work with us for multiple years too. But just once you're in, you just see it with fresh new eyes. So thanks for ripping on that. I know I put you on the spot, but I just feel like we're over 215 episodes now, and I just feel like it should be summed up in a short clip like that. So I think it's good.
Yeah. I would say Scaling Blueprint provides you with a choice you currently don't have.
Nice.
That would be my one-liner. That's not going to be easy. It's going to take work out of you, obviously. But again, you're looking for the right vehicle. We're looking for the right driver. 100%. And that is it. So if you want to talk to me, link below. Numbers all obviously on our website as well too. If you want to get hooked up with Jobber, we'll leave that link down below as well too. But credit card fees turned into mindset, turning into the program here. But Dave, any kind of final thoughts here that you want to leave everybody off with?
I think we did really well, man. I think a lot of podcasts just talking kind of high level theories, but I think getting granular, I think that's, you know, one of our values here at HSBC is all around being genuine and being authentic. And I think always just sharing the practical side that we actually do what we say. And hey, like I'm voting with my money, spending on Jobber payments. But again, I'm seeing it as an investment. So I think just unpacking our mindset a little bit about that, I think will help chip away at some of the listeners here and just challenge some beliefs that, you know what, like maybe there just is a bit of a better way to grow my business. That's all. We just want to challenge why to shuffle around some of the furniture in your brain listening to this. And I think we were like successful doing that. I'm hopeful anyways. Even if it helps one person, man, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's called that greater impact, man.
Love it.
Crushed it as always, brother. Everybody, hope you're doing well. Take care. And again, you know where to find us. Links down below for Jobber, for Home Service Business Coach. Let's have the chat and see if we can help you out. Take care, guys.
See ya.